God. Wherever you are on your journey of faith, please know that you are always welcome here. At Unity on the North Shore, our purpose is to create a safe space where people are empowered to take risks and live their deepest truth. We do this by acting on principles of inclusivity, encouraging creative spiritual exploration, embracing innovative possibilities, collaborating to create community and personal growth, and living truth principles. If this is your first Sunday with us, welcome, welcome. We want to extend a loving welcome to you. Upon discovering Unity, many of us were surprised to learn there was a spiritual community that thought and believed the same things we did. It felt like coming home. We hope your experience this morning is equally powerful and that you'll return again and again. So next up, Kent is going to read the daily word for us.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kent Stanton, and I'm blessed to be serving as your prayer chaplain today. Now I invite you to relax. For me, I like to breathe in and breathe out. So if breathing is comfortable, please, I'm going to take a slow cleansing breath in and let it out. And maybe one more slow cleansing breath in and leave it out. Now let divine spirit speak to us through today's daily word. And today's daily word is strength. Divine strength invigorates my body and quickens my mind. If I feel my energy waning during a time of vigorous physical or mental activity, if my get up and go has got up and gone, I remember these inspiring words from the quote, Prayer of Faith by Hannah Moore Cohouse. God is my strength, unfailing, quick. The strength of God is my strength, and it's more than sufficient to meet my every need. More than toughness or forcefulness, spiritual strength is quiet fortitude, a rootedness in the inexhaustible wellspring of the divine. Today, I release all thoughts of weakness or impossibility. I feel the power of divine strength flowing through me, invigorating my body and bringing renewed clarity to my thoughts. The strength of God is my strength. And the Bible verse is from 1 Corinthians 1:25. For God's foolishness is wiser than human wisdom, and God's weakness is stronger than human strength. Now, as we continue to focus on prayer, I invite you to relax, close your eyes if you'd like, and focus on your breath. Once again, take a gentle, deep breath in if comfortable. And as we release it, we relax and let go. Let go of any thoughts or stress. As we still our minds and open our hearts, peacefully resting in the presence of divine spirit within. God is present in and around us and our loved ones right here and right now and always. So let us rest in the silence upcoming, holding in prayer yourself and your loved ones now in the silence. Divine Spirit, we are so blessed and grateful. As we may know, the daily word strength was very important to Unity's co-founders. The co-founders, the Fillmores, developed and taught us about strength, which is also one of our 12 powers. We affirm that we will have the power of strength. We affirm that we have or will have the patience we need with Divine Spirit's help. Our Unity faith has always cared very, very deeply about the many forms of diversity and inclusiveness. We weave ourselves together, holding hands, at least virtually, in our hearts and minds. And we see the smiles on the faces of those we can actually see and feel today. And we can close our eyes at any time and remember always the great, great hearts and smiles of those we have loved and are now gone. But Unity believes that our loved ones are only physically now gone from us. For we will always remember, and we will never forget, the great hearts, smiles, and the love. We will never forget the love. In another Bible verse from 1 Corinthians 1, verse 8, love never ends. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. I now invite you to request a personal prayer by entering directly into the chat box. Well, it will be blessed by our congregation. You may also enter confidential prayer requests online at our website address, which will also be posted in the chat box. All prayer requests will then be prayed over for 30 days by our prayer team, followed by an additional 30 days of prayer from Silent Unity at Unity Village. Also, if you would like to pray with one of our prayer chaplains today after the service, simply click on the Zoom link that will be posted in the chat box. And now we are pleased and blessed to return to Bobbi and Dennis with more inspiring music.
If you believe within your heart, you'll know that no one can change the path that you must go. Believe in what you feel and know you're right, because the time will come around when what you say is yours. Believe there's a reason to be. Believe you can make time stand still. And know from the moment you try, if you believe, I know you will. Believe in yourself right from the start. Believe in all the magic deep in your heart. Believe all these things not because I told you to, but believe in yourself say that I believe in you.
Well, standing up and cheering. Bobbi, it is so good to have you back with us. And as always, there was our message. The rest is extraneous. Thank you so much. Beautiful. So, as Pat mentioned, we're in the midst of a series that I've called Taking Risks and Pursuing Greatness. And if you happen to register online, you might have noticed that the graphic that illustrates this theme for the month was one of a goldfish jumping out of a bowl, sort of leaving the safety of the bowl in the water, and it's caught in midair, and we don't see where it's going. We have no idea if it's jumping to another pool of water or it's off the edge of the side. And I sort of feel like that is a beautiful kind of allegory for where we are right now, certainly in spiritual community. You know, we took the leap when we had to 14 months ago to get into the Zoom environment, and that's kind of where we are, and now we're working toward a hybrid kind of experience so that there are a few of us back in service here getting ready for a return to face-to-face, for those of you who feel comfortable with that, for a face-to-face experience here in church. So it's sort of like we took one leap, and now we're in midair. We don't know exactly what that's going to look like when we're back together in church, but we know it's coming, right? And I love that we've sort of had the courage to set a new trajectory. And we know at another level for our community that's also true, because those of you who were a part of the annual meeting back in January will remember that the voting members approved putting the property up for sale. So that trajectory is another one. Sort of we're leaping, and we don't quite know what that's going to look like at the other side. But what we do know is that with the faith to believe in ourselves, as Bobbi so beautifully articulated here, that the highest and next best step for us is unfolding. So I love that we're sort of in this space of really taking risks and being willing to kind of stand out and stand up for our faith. Also, just to kind of quickly revisit, it is a beautiful kind of articulation of our principles, right? That the board had discerned the purpose of Unity on the North Shore, sort of reinvigorating the energy that we have around why we exist on the planet, what ours to do is as a spiritual community. And as Pat mentioned earlier on, we create a safe space to take risks, for us individually to take risks, for us to collectively take risks, so that we can live our deepest truth, right? So that creating a safe space is the environment where we have the courage and the willingness and the strength to sort of leap out of the goldfish bowl and be present next. The board has also articulated or defined how it is that we do that, and those are the 5 principles that Pat articulated as well. The first of those is about inclusivity. Over the last couple of weeks, the ones that I've been suggesting we use for that is an upgrade to the golden rule. So that it's not just about sort of acknowledging that there's a diversity of folks here present, but it's about really including ourselves, including one another in the choices and the decisions and the energy that we're creating together. So it's not just treating someone how I think they would like to be treated or how I would like to be treated, but it's like to really stand in another's shoes and imagine what it would be like. There's a level of empathy required to treat them as they would like to be treated. So this beautiful way of sort of bringing this inclusivity into creating the safe space that we're about at Unity on the North Shore. And then the next one was to be encouraging about exploring spiritual principles. And that's been kind of a foundational premise in Unity since its foundings. Many of us, when we first got here, we came out of traditions where we weren't necessarily encouraged to question. We didn't really ask questions of, sort of we took it on faith. We maybe articulated a creed that that meant that, but in unity, we really encourage you to go more deeply, to question those principles. I'll never preach that this is what you need to do and believe in your lives. I'll share my own experience, I'll share some examples, and invite you to discern what the truth is that is arising and emerging from your own heart. So it's always about sort of encouraging a spiritual exploration. And sort of embedded in that is an assumption that over the course of our lives, over the course of our spiritual journey, that we're going to continue to evolve. Our understanding is going to change, even day to day as we learn and grow in our spiritual capacity to believe in ourselves, to trust in Spirit's guidance, to embody the powers that are within us, the innate divine powers within us. That's an evolving process. So this exploration of spiritual ideas and principles is something that it's not just something that we step into immediately upon discovering unity, but it's a way in which we grow and evolve throughout our spiritual journey and throughout our earthly lifetimes even. So this week, what we're going to dive into is the third of those hows, how we create safe space to take risks. And that's by embracing innovative possibilities. We all know the story of Joseph and his dream coat. I have this great shirt that I usually wear, and I forgot to wear that this morning, the Technicolor dream coat, to sort of invoke that sort of idea of greater possibilities. And you'll recall that Joseph was born to Jacob in his elder years, and Joseph was the youngest of 12 sons. The 11 that came before, Jacob made no bones about really favoring Joseph above all his other sons. He even created this beautiful coat and sort of lauded praise on the young Joseph, much to the chagrin of his 11 older brothers. And the 11 older brothers kind of got to be resentful about that. And Joseph, frankly, didn't make it any easier on himself. He didn't hesitate to share a couple of dreams that he had where it just sort of exacerbated this, this favored son kind of status that had been bestowed upon him. In the first dream, he and his 11 brothers are out cutting sheaves of grain in the fields. And in this dream, Joseph is quick to tell his brothers about it. The sheaf that Joseph had cut stood proudly, and the 11 other sheaves that his brothers had cut, they all bowed down to him. So that sort of increased the level of tension that was happening between the brothers, and Joseph was kind of oblivious to that apparently, because he had a second dream that he also shared with the family. And in this dream, it wasn't just his 11 brothers, but it also was the mother and father. Joseph dreamed that the sun, the moon, and 11 stars were bowing down to him. And this one, even Jacob, his father, kind of got riled about, right? This was just Joseph stepping out way above and beyond the sort of family hierarchy that was expected of him. And what I'd like us to, I want to stop there, just stop there. We'll get back to the Joseph story in a minute. And sort of dig into how that is reflected in our own life experiences. Think about the spaces in your own life where you have been sort of encouraged or prompted or urged from within to pursue a possibility that otherwise you might not have thought of. Right? For many of us, we don't reach for those possibilities. They don't engage in our spirits strictly from the rational thinking mind. Right? Joseph had to dream. These came to him from either his subconscious or superconscious, is what Unity would call sort of the spiritual dimension. But they arose from an intelligence that wasn't his own sort of human understanding egoic mind. And the same is true for us. That's how we know whether we're really being engaged, whether we're really sort of engaging with an innovative possibility, or if we're maybe just sort of going along with an expectation out of the normal sort of physical realm. I think a beautiful example of this is Sal Khan. Sal Khan was a math genius. At the age of 21, he had already earned 3 degrees from MIT. And the common wisdom around him at that point, he was being recruited by all kinds of hedge fund managers, and so it was just sort of naturally assumed that he would move into hedge funds. And in fact, that's what he did. And he even started his own hedge fund, and it was a pretty massive failure. He lost tons and tons of money. But what he recognized as he sort of went through that sort of intellectual progression of what his next step was going to be after earning these degrees, what he recognizes that's not really what was most alive in his heart, right? So if we're really looking at divine possibilities, they generally start with the heart. There's a wisdom of the heart. There's a feeling. There's an excitement. There's a passion around that, a glimmer of idea. And what he realized, what Sal realized in that point, was that he really had a passion for helping others to gain knowledge and to learn about mathematical principles. And so he started creating these lessons that he would be posting online. And out of that was born the Khan Academy. Most of you may know that the Khan Academy is a nonprofit organization. The common wisdom back when he was first starting it was that he ought to make it a for-profit company. And something in his heart, it went against all, like, this is what's happening here, right? He had to sort of quiet what was happening up here. The voices from without, the people that were saying, you're going to be a billionaire, you need to follow that dream, make it a for-profit company. But what he understood from the wisdom of his heart was that if he were to go down that path, that at some point he would have to compromise his principles and wouldn't be able to make these lessons available free. So he struggled for about a year at least, sort of really providing all of the seed money to launch the company in that first year. And today, over 20 million students around the world, around the planet, turn to Khan Academy for these math lessons. The gift that arose out of his ability and his capacity to follow that sort of divine potential, to follow that, to embrace that innovative possibility has been immense. The same's true. I'm going to move now back to, one other thing. Here's the other thing I want to say about sort of possibilities. The other piece, especially around this Sal Khan example, is that part of the language that we've used in articulating this how for Unity on the North Shore, I love it because it doesn't say that we're going to embrace innovative solutions, right? Because solutions automatically, if we're going to create a safe space, what we've got to do is sort of take out the element of fear, or as much of the element of fear, or not being able to accomplish, or not being able to succeed, or being made fun of, or if we take that failure aspect out, then it becomes a safe space, right? So we're encouraging the exploration of these possibilities. It's not simply about creating solutions or successes. It's about embracing the possibilities along the way. And as I was thinking about it, I wonder why, or what would be different if we had articulated it as that we were going to embrace innovative failures, right? Like, what is that? Because in some ways, then that really takes away the fear of not succeeding, right? If it's to embrace, then I realize that, okay, well, we don't want to be affirming or embracing actual failures. That's not really Unity theology either. So I love that we've come up with this idea of possibilities because it leaves open that space that we can pursue ideas, we can pursue opportunities that actually might not work, and that we reward that behavior. We reward the embracing and the engaging of those ideas because we trust and understand that as we engage with them, as we pursue them, there's greater good that's emerging out of them, right? That's sort of how the whole Joseph story transpires. We're not going to do the whole story today. I'll let you know that. But so back to the Joseph story, because I think there's some more that illustrates how it is that we can move into a space of really embracing these opportunities, these innovative ideas, these innovative possibilities. If you remember, Joseph brothers, Joseph has had these great dreams that everybody's bowing down to him, his whole family is sort of subservient to him, and they're not pleased about it. They're pretty ticked off about the whole thing. And what we know as we follow along the Joseph story is that the brothers are all out tending sheep at some point, and Joseph is sent by his father to go locate them and find them. Well, they're out sort of in a wilderness area, and the brothers are seething. Here comes that know-it-all brother, the big shot whose grandiose ideas are that he's much better than the rest of us. And so they're seething about that. And they end up actually throwing him in a pit. And eventually he's rescued from the pit and sold into slavery. But that's sort of the Joseph idea. And I want to sort of stop here and pinpoint what's happening, because it happens with us as we start to really embrace the kinds of innovative opportunities, as we really start to engage with that stuff, what happens is that the 11 brothers rise up in our minds, right? Remember I said we start here in our hearts. It's the wisdom of our heart. It's the sensation. It's the feeling. It's the passion that arises out of the heart. And what we want to move to is a point where from our heart we're connected with the out there. We're connected with the divine, with the cosmos. We're connected with the power of spirit. But somehow those two have to be aligned with what's happening in here. And what's happening in here very often for most of us is the 11 brothers, the chattering of the jealousies, the 11 brothers, the it's not going to work, the this is going to fail, this is, you don't have enough resources, you don't, whatever there is, and yammer, this head stuff. As long as that's in between the this in our heart and the this in spirit, we're going to be frustrated. It's never going to be free to sort of allow that to come through. So what we really need to do is be able to find a space that we can start to quiet that. It may not ever go completely silent, but certainly to quiet the yammering that's happening in here, to quiet the questioning, to quiet all of the cultural wisdom, to quiet all the stuff that we think we know that's just yak, and gets in the way of the inspiration and the guidance that's going to move us out into really embracing possibilities that are truly divine, that truly move us forward on the path. So I want to share with you an example, and I haven't cleared this with him. So Clay, just know that you are free to participate at whatever level in this that you want to. But one of these kind of, I keep forgetting my language around it. One of the embracing of innovative possibilities really happened a little over a year ago when Clay Lindner, who is now serving as a youth representative on our board, came to us with this idea. And he had first proposed it to Kate, our youth ed director, and she asked about it. And so I sort of gave it a cursory kind of thought and went straight here, right? The yakking in my mind. Oh, it's been tried before. It's been done before. A high school kid, the first financial report, they're going to be bored. They'll check out. High school kids, you can't really count on them. All these reasons that so what we resolved was that, he'd be welcome to come to a board meeting anytime and present the youth perspective. That was not what was in Clay's heart. And he persisted with this innovative kind of possibility about having a youth perspective on our board. And let me tell you, I am so thankful that he pursued with it. Clay, can you I'm inviting him up, and I'm wanting to sort of acknowledge his contributions to our board over this past year and a half, because I know he graduates next year. Next week, right? It's next week is the graduation stuff. If you're going to talk, can we get to this? Okay, so Clay has also been vaccinated. In addition to all he does with church and with school and with swimming team, he's actually a lifeguard, right? So as part of your work there, you got in the vaccination line.
Yeah, I got vaccinated back in February, actually, so I was way ahead of the curve.
Yeah, and that's true in a lot of ways, actually. Thank you. So just an amazing voice who has been just incredibly fruitful in terms of his contribution to our board work over this past year. He has been courageous in sharing his views and his perspective. He has been so generous in terms of my gosh, he built a computer to replace one of mine that was not doing well. He's very involved with the live stream team. That's what he's here now doing. And is one of our go-to folks when there's a tech thing that goes wrong. It's Clay that pretty much steps in to help us out with that. And let's see, one of the other pieces was we decided over the winter that we were not going to pay to have the parking lot plowed. And we're able to save a bunch of money just in salting costs. And Clay started a business, right? The Wildcat Workers?
Yep, Wildcat Workers. We high schoolers that kind of do odd jobs. So, little things like moving, and during the winter we did a lot of shoveling. And we shoveled the sidewalks for the church. So to, keep with Evanston's rules and stuff. We shoveled and salted every single time it snowed. No matter if it was, a couple inches or, 18, as we saw in February.
Yeah. Oh, and Evan's here too. He was probably on that snow
Yep,
shoveling team as well.
Evan
Yeah.
helped me a ton. So, just a
So
little shout out
just
to him.
amazing gifts that because he had the strength and perseverance to really propose this in a beautiful way. And so we have had this youth representative position on the Board of Trustees for the last year and a half. It's not a voting member position, but Clay has been there for pretty much every meeting.
Every single meeting.
Every
Yep.
single meeting in the last year and a half. And has had some amazing input, and with his wildcat workers saved us about $5,000 on salting costs this last year. So just beautiful, beautiful ways in which an innovative possibility has become a reality for Unity on the North Shore. And Clay, since you are graduating next week, I just wanted to acknowledge you and make sure that the congregation had a chance to really see you. And if you're there, clap, do your thumbs up, do your waving in the hands, whatever it is that you can do to express your love. And see, we know you have been accepted and you have enrolled now in Indiana University. So you'll be
Indiana
heading out.
University, Bloomington. Be studying, I'm not really sure what I'll end up with. I'll probably change my major about 6 times, but right now I'm thinking economics and finance. But, I'm really keeping my options open.
Whew. So bold possibilities and wonderful example of sort of staying true to what's in your heart and what sort of spirit is guiding you into.
Thank you
Bless
so
you, bless
much.
you, bless
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
Do elbow thing. All right. So with that, what I'd like to do is move us into a time of meditation where we can affirm that sort of heart, divine mind connection with human mind kind of aligned. So to set an energy for us, Dennis is going to serenade us. I'm going to grab a chair here. I would invite you to, however it is that you can become most receptive to spirit within you, however it is that you become most grounded and present to the divine. I invite you to do whatever adjustments you might need to now. Begin by just focusing your attention on your physical body. If there's any areas of tension or tightness, just go ahead and flex a little bit, ground a little bit. And a couple more of those deep cleansing breaths that Kent described. As we become fully present, we recognize that we are most receptive to the urgings of spirit, to the wisdom of our own hearts, as we can tune in. As you focus on your heart, I invite you to just open heart and mind to a greater awareness of Spirit's presence in and around you. We know Spirit is available to us at every level of being and dimension. So if what you notice is just kind of a physical presence and energy, a vibration in your physical body, then that's wonderful. That's a wonderful entry point. Or if what you're aware of is maybe the beauty of the sounds around you, Dennis is playing, or seems like on these Zoom calls there are a lot of folks who have birds singing in the background. If there are other sounds in your environment, just notice those. And begin to incorporate those into a greater sense of the whole that enfolds you and surrounds you. Each of us is a part of a divine oneness, an expansive wholeness. And as we center ourselves in that awareness, perhaps you begin to notice that there is an experiential component to this meditative experience that transcends any physical dimension. It's a dimension of mind, of imagination, of soul, of spirit. And however it is that you picture that dimension, however it is that you visualize it or feel it or sense it, imagine that that sense is now reconnecting with the wonderful energy of your heart. That you're bringing together the very wisest of the knowing within you with the most enlightened aspect of your spiritual beingness. And in that connection, we affirm that all of the thinking and believing that can sometimes distract us in the busyness of mind quiets and aligns. I invite you to just picture this alignment of wisdom of heart moving through what we know to be true in our earthly life experience. And ultimately what goes out and is true in the absolute and the allness and the very beingness that is all of life, that's one smooth, brilliant, bright boulevard of light. And for just a moment, rest in that sense of wholeness. And trust that it's healing and renewing and restoring and inspiring. Renewing your sense of vitality and your awareness of your oneness with all that is. For just a moment, we'll rest in the quiet of that and allow yourself to experience it as fully as possible through whatever senses are most accessible to you. In the quiet, know this brilliant oneness. And very gently now, as we begin to bring this meditation to a close, I invite you to just extend any sense of peace or love or harmony or light, whatever energy that you're feeling, extend that out beyond self to an inclusive wholeness, an inclusive dimension of all that is. For we know in truth that we are one with all that is. And light and love and the energy of our hearts shall lead us. So it is, and so we let it be. Amen.
In the silence, God speaks to me. In the silence, God speaks to me. God speaks to me. God speaks to me. God speaks to me in the silence of my heart. God speaks to me. God speaks to me. God speaks to me in the silence of my heart.
So let's just stay in this wonderful spiritual energy As we prepare now to give our tithes and offerings, and out of this wonderful energy of new possibilities, I invite you to bless this community with your substance, to bless each other with your substance, to bless the world with your substance. Because money, after all, is just a manifestation of spiritual substance. We send our gifts out into the world knowing and affirming that they are doing good. We send our gifts knowing and affirming that we are investing in this ministry. Together, we are knowing and affirming that we are moving this ministry forward and outward into the world to be a change agent for spiritual growth and transformation. We are risk takers, and we are people who are demonstrating and empowering others to live their deepest truth. And now I believe we have a slide to show you the 3 simple ways to give. And I'm not seeing the slides, but I will tell you about it because maybe it's up there and it's just not on my screen here. Here we go. Thank you. 3 different ways to give. You can text by texting the word give to 815-827-6052. You can go online to www.unityns.org, or good old-fashioned, but it still works, U.S. mail to 3434 Central Street, Evanston, Illinois, 60201. We take all matter of giving. Thank you. And now I am tap dancing for the moment over here, but I will go ahead now, and I've given you a moment to text, to write out the chat, or put a stamp on that envelope. So the next thing that we will do now is let's bless our giving and receiving with our usual offertory blessing. Together, if you will say this with me: divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. Amen. And I believe that Bobbi and Dennis have more music for us.
Yes, it's a good day for singing a song, and it's a good day for moving along. Yes, it's a good day. How could anything go wrong? A good day from morning till night. Yes, it's a good day for shining your shoes, and it's a good day for losing the blues. Everything to gain and nothing to lose. A good day from morning till night. I said to the sun, good morning, sun. Rise and shine today. You know you gotta get going if you're gonna make a showing, and you know you've got the right of way, 'cause it's a good day for paying your bills, and it's a good day for curing your ills. So take a deep breath and throw away your pills. A good day from morning till night. said to the sun, good morning, sun, rise and shine today. You know you gotta get going if you're gonna make a showing, and you know you got the right of way. And it's a good day for paying your bills. It's a good day for curing all of your ills. So take a deep breath and throw away your pills. Good day from morning till night. Yes, a good day from morning to night. It's a good day from morning till night. Yeah.
Oh, don't go away just yet. Bobbi, Dennis, thank you. It was so good to have you back. And as we get back into in-person service, we'll see more of you. But I understand there's an opportunity for people to come and see you live next weekend, right? Next Sunday?
Yes, at St. Columbanus Catholic Church at 331 East 71st Street. And if the weather permits, then we're going to be out on the lawn, and it's called Jazz on the Stairs at St. Columbanus.
Oh.
So, and that's at 4 o'clock.
4
to
o'clock.
7, yes.
Okay, I think we have a slide for that. And what I'd say, we don't have a slide for that. Oops. So say it one more time so folks know where to find it.
St. Columbanus Catholic Church, 331 East 71st Street.
Great.
An outdoor concert. Bring your lawn chairs and anything that you might like to accompany the music.
And your Facebook page has the information on it too,
Yes,
right?
it
So that's
does.
where they
Yes,
can find.
yes.
Okay, great. Thank you,
Thank
Bobbi.
you.
Thank you, Bobbi, and thank you, Dennis. So I went to the last half of 8th grade at St. Columbanus School, so the world goes around here. And thanks to the live stream team for testing out new technology and honing new skills as we prepare to return to in-person services. I'm sure you guys are just waiting for this here. So in case you missed last month's town hall meeting, we learned the reopening team is preparing for us to reopen in mid-June, depending on, of course, the recommended guidelines and local COVID-related statistics. And no worries if you're wanting to play it safe a little while longer. The in-person service will be live streamed so you can continue to participate virtually. So we have 3 announcements. I think we've got some slides that should be coming up. And you guys are doing a great job over here. Okay, well, this takes care of my first announcement over here. That's a Metamania.
Nope. That workshop is happening today at noon. I think we got an old slideshow here is the trouble. So at noon today, you can register at the website. And in fact, I'm going to be dashing off from here so I can get home and get everything set up. Metamania is a beautiful, what distinguishes unity from other Christian teachings tends to be our metaphysical understanding. And when we talked about what that meant, people had a lot of different ideas, and so we weren't quite sure what kind of a class to offer. So Candace Lucas and I and Reverend Christina have developed a workshop to give us a flavor of biblical kind of metaphysical interpretation. So we'll dive into a story and give you a chance to play with some of those ideas. And then afterward, we'll talk about some of the bigger metaphysical concepts that sort of guide our teaching and our practice. And we'll have an opportunity to even do some coaching with you one-on-one. Really good experience. We did it once about a month ago, and we wanted to offer it on a Sunday. So if it's not quite warm enough out yet for you, hop on over to the website and you can register, and we'll all be online to join you at noon today. So that is happening today. The Metamania workshop is happening. Thank you,
Okay.
Pat. Sorry about that.
No, I tell you, I'm doing some good tap dancing this morning over here. Thank you there. Okay, so now we should have another slide that's going to be coming up. And as I mentioned before, we're preparing to reopen the building for in-person services sometime next month. So since the building's been mostly empty for the past year, it needs a thorough cleaning. If you're local, I'm sorry, I can't come up there right now, but if you're local, please sign up to help out next Saturday, starting at 10 a.m. to help with the cleanup. It's a great opportunity to reconnect with one another and revitalize our welcoming energy in preparation for returning there. And if you've been doing like in past years, there was always a box of Krispy Kremes or somebody's good donuts that were out there. So another reason to come and bring the kids too. So that link is being pasted in the chat feed, or there's also a link on the home page. And our last invitation is that please check the website or Facebook. Thank you. Please check the website, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube for more great content to empower you in living your deepest truth. The best way to stay connected is by subscribing to our weekly e-blasts. And if you're not receiving them, subscribe now using the link in the chat stream. Jan's been posting in the chat screen links for giving and all of the going-ons that are happening at the church there. And so now, without further ado, Bobbi and Dennis will lead us in the peace song, followed by Kent with the prayer of protection.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
I think Kent is going to say the prayer for protection.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. We are sorry. Can you hear me now? This is Kent.
Yes, we can hear you, Kent.
Okay, this virtual world is different for me and my generation. Anyway, let's begin again, if we will. It was technically called the prayer for protection, but prayer for protection or prayer of protection, either way is good. The words are on your screen. Let's say it with me. The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God unfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever we are, God is. I am divine. Don't stop now. Thanks for being here. We invite you to stay online and visit our online garden chat, and or Sharon is hosting that, and we'll be able to see her It's a great social time, which starts right here and now. And also, if you would like to pray with one of our chaplains, including myself or one of my colleague prayer chaplains, simply click on the Zoom link that is posted in the chat box. Thank you.
Have a great day, everyone. Bye.
Pat. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful week,